Hello everyone, welcome to a review of the Mazda 6. This is the Mark 1 version. Let's have a look at it. I think it is one of the most beautiful saloons of its time. Doesn't it look wonderful? I just love this lovely lights at the front there, and just how that then blends in with a nice smooth flowing bodywork all round. Very aerodynamic in its approach. Looks sporty but without being overly loutish, and in terms of the proportions it just looks fantastic all round. And I think the best shape for this is in the hatchback form. I'm not really a big fan of the saloon version, not only for practicality but from a design point of view. I think this just flows a lot better, and the Lexus style rear lights really do set it off. When it first came out I wasn't really sure about these lights, but I think over time it's grown on me and it looks fantastic. And this car being some 16-17 years old now still looks pretty fresh, you know. Design has held up very well in terms of the test of time, and as I'll talk about reliability later on, this particular example I sold it to my good friend over 10 years ago, and it's now done 170,000 miles and it's still driving fantastically well. So shall we just take it for a drive first before we go on to the interior? Yes, why not? Let's go for it. So despite being a car with 170,000 miles, this goes really well, pulls fantastically, and there's no untoward noises or anything like that that's coming through. Visibility is great, and the interior itself looks can you believe it's done 170? Look how well it's worn. Credit to the previous owner for looking after it so well, but you know, like, these plastics might be a bit on the hard side, but look how robust they are. 170,000 miles later. Nice pleasant place to be. You got the nice Bose stereo. These are really comfortable seats, I gotta say. Visibility is good all round, like I've said. Look at it pull nicely. The steering is not too light, it's slightly weighty, so for a Japanese car it's actually quite direct, and this is set up to feel that little bit more sporty in terms of the driving dynamics, and it most certainly is. Here we go. Ooh, pulls really lovely, really nice, and the suspension is not too hard. It goes over the bumps and humps very nicely, so it's not clattering, but then it's not so soft to make you feel seasick kind of thing. So in that regard it's a nice blend, very comfortable, good enough for long journeys. Yeah, and the road noise isn't too bad, I would say. Very good, and the engine sounds sweet as a nut. Wow, well done Mazda. So that was a lovely drive, wasn't it? Lovely looking car, lovely to drive. Oh, have I said I really like the design of these alloys as well? It's not bad. Let's look at the practicality of the car. So if we start from the boot, one of the reasons why I always suggest getting the hatchback is look at the size of the boot. It's huge, and then obviously those seats go down, and you've got your little anchor points there for child tether points, I think, for the child's seats and things like that. So huge boot. Look at that. Could get a double-sized bed in there. Well, if you get in trouble with the missus or something like that and she kicks you out, you've got a spare place to hide out or live, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look at the rear. Fantastic leg room, and these seats are on plinths, so you can easily slide your feet underneath. 6-footers will sit in here easily. You get 3 adults in because it's a relatively wide car. That's set up to my driving position, as you can see, so much space, and then the other one's set up for a 6-footer, and you can see there's still loads of space. And these seats, the bolsters go out quite a bit, so you'll sit in comfort, and it's slightly angled like that, so for long journeys it's fantastically comfortable. Let's look at the front. So in terms of the front seats, as you can see, 17 years later and 170,000 miles, look at the driver's seat. A little bit of discoloration, but it is worn so well, you would not know it, would you? And even the interior plastics, look at that. As I said, on the drive, and these are relatively well spec'd, so you got all round electric windows, electric mirrors. Some of the higher spec ones obviously get the leather, but I prefer this cloth. It's more durable and comfortable, and you get electric folding mirrors on the higher spec ones. The one thing I would say is that maybe if you are a little bit on the larger side, these seats are a bit narrow, so do bear that in mind. Otherwise, very comfortable drive in this car, very durable. This is an automatic one. Whether you go for manual or auto, they're hugely reliable. They're not the most economical in the world. The most economical really is the Avensis. That one's a 2-litre engine. This is a 2-litre petrol, by the way, so I should have mentioned at the beginning. Then they're okay, but they are not the most economical you'll find, but they are bulletproof. Just regularly service them and they'll look after you. That like they have my friend who's had this car for the last 10 years. It still starts on the money. So if you want something that's cheap and will go to the moon and back and not cost you that much in terms of maintenance, you can't go far wrong than this Mazda. Yes, the Avensis and the Honda Accord are there, but if you want one that's got reliability but it's a bit more sporty to drive, then the Mazda's the one to go for. And overall it's pretty comfortable. I would say if you're slightly on the larger side and stuff, then the Honda Accord and the Avensis would be better because their seats seem a little bit bigger, but in terms of the rear space and the rear comfort for passengers, it's all a bit of a muchness, to be honest with you. The only other car that matches this for sporting pretensions is the Mondeo, but then the Mondeo is nowhere near as reliable. I mean, try and find an 05 Mondeo with the same mileage like this that still runs as sweet as this. So the things to look out for on this car, there aren't that many really. One little thing is the airbag light. So the airbag light is a recall, so it's a free recall for the airbag on there. That's about it really. Everything else is bulletproof. You just need to regularly maintain it, that's all it is. Other than that, this car is bang on. Obviously, if anyone else has had experience of these Mazda 6s, knows of any key issues that I've missed, because I just can't find any on these ones. Lovely, lovely cars. So, would I recommend it? Oh yes, go for it. The only downside is maybe some of the parts are a little bit more expensive because they're not as common as the other cars I've mentioned, but otherwise these should last you and be very dependable. Hope you like and subscribe, and see you soon everyone. Bye bye.